I keep on seeing these Chainsaw Man movie memes, and I keep on sending them to No Shame in Feeding because he watched the movie not long ago. And well, I can't help but feel like I'm starting to get an idea of what happened. I haven't started watching Chainsaw Man yet, so I still don't know what anything is, who the characters are, what happened, why the end of the movie seems like it's a generational event that I'm missing out on. I don't know, it almost seems like, based on everything I'm seeing, I can almost piece together exactly what happened. Well, not exactly, but I have an idea of what may have happened. Something about boom. Lots of booms happening. Michael Bay, lots of booms. And then it's all about this one particular character. I'll find out, eventually. So, today started off good. Shiny Pokemon-wise. I got 3 shinies in Pokemon Go today. I first got a shiny Oshawott off of the Daily Incense. And then I got a random shiny Clamperl. And then a random shiny Rattata. Then, just before I started this, in Legend ZA, I got yet another shiny Pidgey. These damn birds follow me everywhere. I'm still working on my Alpha Dex. Still waiting on a buddy of mine to hop on and help me trade for some of the evolutions. It's kind of like shiny hunting all over again. Only this time I'm not going for shinies, I'm going for alphas. Like, I just don't want to stop. I should be doing something else in the game. I should be grinding for Mabel's research, get the shiny charm, and then going for the remaining alphas. But I just don't want to stop. I just don't want to do anything else. I just want to dedicate my time to getting what I want. And what I want are the remaining alphas I'm missing. Today I got my hands on, well, actually a good number of alphas, but memorably, I got my hands on not a shiny. I'm too used to saying shiny. I got my hands on an Alpha Badoo and Roselia. It's not exactly easy to get those. Well, technically. They're not hard, just time consuming. Right now I'm in Wild Zone 10, going for my third, well technically, my second Alpha Slowpoke. Because you can catch the static, I can't speak today. You can catch the static Alpha Slowbro. So I need an Alpha Slowpoke and then one to evolve into Slowking. I also need an Alpha Carvana as well as, 2 Alpha Tynamos because I got an Alpha Electros underneath the tower. Ooh, I just got an Alpha Tynamo. I gotta go save the game. Yes, I'm doing it right now as I'm doing this. So yesterday in Pokemon Go was day 2 of the Go Wild Zone event, or whatever it's called. I did 35 raids. to get my hands on a shiny Darkrai. You know how much money I spent? For months leading up to this event. We knew that Shadow Darkrai was going to be coming. And for months, I knew I wanted one. Just one. And well, I was not ending the event without one. And it took me 35 raids until I got a shiny. Yesterday, I did not get a single shiny Mighty. I did get a shiny Snubble. And I think a shiny Galarian Ponyta. I think I got a Hundo Mighty Alolan Ninetales and a Hundo Drapion. And I think that's all I got. I may have gotten another Hundo, I can't remember. I just got the Alpha Carvana to spawn. One by one, I am slowly chipping away at my Alpha decks. You know, I'm super excited to get certain difficult alphas like Beldum or the fossils. So excited to get those. On the bright side, alphas are a lot faster and easier to get in ZA than they are in Legends Arceus. The resets are so much faster. Legends Arceus, you gotta leave the area, then come back. You gotta go back to Jubilife Village, then come back. Alright, so today we of course have our batch of 4 shows to go over. We got ourselves an episode of Beastmaker of Gen V. And then the new shows. Welcome to Dairy and Has-Been. Ooh, the second Alpha Dynamo just showed up. Gotta catch it, gotta catch it, gotta catch it. First, save the game. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. Here, take a look. This is my Switch right now. There's the Alpha Dynamo. Great, so after I catch this, that's the Dynamo line done with alphas. I am so close to completing Mabel's research. At least getting to where I need to do 1,000 battles. Because I strategically saved that. Remember, once I get to the point where I need to do 1,000 battles, I still need to do the Infinite ZA Royale 15 times. 20 if I want to do the Jacinthe thing at the end. Yeah, that's a lot of battles. Oh, the Alpha Gibble is going to take so long. I'm curious. Let me look in my bag. How many... I have 132 Seed of Masteries. It's not like I'm ever going to use them. Okay, let's see how much my brain can handle from shiny hunting here, resetting for alphas on the side, and even talking about the episode. I didn't even do the dishes yet tonight. You know, a shiny Slowpoke would be nice, since they changed it and gave it a brand new shiny. A better one. Actually, let me check if the audio is being picked up. It's always a concern. Yep. So, because Peacemaker and Gen V are done, like the seasons are done, once I finish talking about the episodes, then it'll just be a waiting game, because today I'm going to talk about Welcome to Derry episode 4. However, there's going to be none to talk about next time, because, well, today's Monday and the episodes drop on Sunday, so I still need to wait pretty much a week for the next episode. So until the episode 5 comes out, we're not going to have something to talk about. Right? So once Peacemaker and Gen V are over, once, you know, we are in the little gaps waiting for the next episode to come out, wonder what I'll talk about then. Anyways, the Alpha Slowpoke just showed up. Catch it, catch it, catch it, catch it, catch it. a bit of a shame that the legendaries cannot be alpha, but like not like it's not like that really makes that much sense anyways. I swear to God, the stupid day and night cycle in this game is so annoying, especially when I'm trying to catch something. Okay, I now have all the alphas in Wild Zone 10. I still need an alpha Sandile, so I may as well go over to... which one was it? Wild Zone 8. In the process, try my hands at getting an alpha Gible. Because I need 2 more. I was able to just simply catch the alpha Garchomp. I almost thought I got lucky right away. But no, it was just a static alpha Krokorok and an alpha Drillbur. I wonder if the mic is picking that up. That's my Switch. The fan's working overtime. Alright, without further ado, let's get on to talking about these shows. Oh, actually, wait, there's one more topic. Did you guys hear that the Snyderverse may actually have a chance to being restored? So, something about Zack Snyder. Oh my god! Oh, sorry, just something just popped up in game. That's the wrong alpha I need. So, yeah, something about Zack Snyder is in talks with Christopher Nolan, too. Like, he's attached as well. And Saudi Arabia? Like, if Saudi Arabia purchases Warner Brothers Discovery, they have a real chance to bring back Snyder and also have Christopher Nolan involved. As a fan of Snyder's DC work, yes, please bring him back. But I would also like to see James Gunn's vision play out. So I want both. Anyway, so yeah, Peacemaker. Season 2, Episode 5. There's only 8 episodes, isn't there? So, we begin with a flashback to, I believe, 3 years ago. And it's the funeral for Rick Flag Jr. Harcourt is there. Rick Flag Sr. is there. Tries to comfort her. He does ask her, do you know who killed my son? And she's just like, you know I can't say, sir. It's confidential. But Amelia then says, the person who did this is gonna pay. I'm gonna make sure of it. Something like that. And then after the opening credits, we cut back to present day, where, remember, Amelia kind of sold Chris out at the end of the last episode. So they're at this park. Argus is all set up for Peacemaker to show up. Judo Master is on a roof getting ready to snipe him. So Chris shows up, but he looks pretty strategic. He's purposely getting behind people, doing stuff to where he can't be caught in the crossfire. And then he makes his way over to where Harcourt is and sits next to her. Turns out that in the text message, there was a code word in there that basically, revealed later, basically meant, this is a trap, stay away, do not come. But Chris went anyways, because he really needed to ask. He really needed to ask, was there any meaning behind anything that happened between them? I wonder if we're ever going to get a flashback to exactly what happened. But Harcourt, pissed that Chris actually showed up despite the warning, she angrily just said, no, I was drunk, none of it meant anything. So that's not the answer Chris was hoping for. So, with that answer, his mind is set. But he needs to first get out of this debacle he's in. Argus is surrounding him. So what he does is actually strategically disarms one of the agents and then uses him as a meat shield. However, Sarah Borto, what was her name again? Not Sarah, I keep calling her Sarah. Sasha, she just walks up with a gun in hand, ready to go point blank. And then we see some cybernetics in her eye. So she has like a very, very good chance to kill Smith. She said like there's a 0.2% of failure. So she could clip him on the spot. But Harcourt not gonna let that happen. She swoops in, does some Black Widow maneuver around him, and then knocks him unconscious, chokes him out. It almost seems like she was going to whisper something to his ear, and then we, the audience, find out what it was later, but no such thing. So, now Chris is in Argus custody. Adebayo and Adrian, they're outside of Peacemaker's little cabin where he's keeping that gizmo to move the door portal. So Adebayo gets a call from her advertisement in the book, asking some weird questions like, is that the shape of your head? No, sir, it's a hat. Sure, I can wear hats when we meet. It's like, ooh, yeah, we actually do specialize in Greek. Adrian's just like, that's like a booty call, right? And then hilariously, Adrian is just like, I don't kill prostitutes because they already have it hard enough as is. We also see Michael Rooker's character, the Eagle Killer. He is stalking Eagly, trying to kill Eagly. Yeah, more on him later. Hold on, my brain is so overstimulated, trying to hunt for alphas as well. Damn it, why'd it have to be a static Krokorok? Why couldn't it have been a Sandile? What I need is an alpha Sandile. Okay, I think this is too much for me. I can't focus. Okay, I'm putting the switch down because it's just too much. I can't focus. So, over at Argus, Harcourt is talking to Economos, and they realize that they're going to make Smith disappear, because now they have him in custody. So they realize what they need to do is they need to book him. They need to book him as under arrest, because that way he'll be in public files, and he can't disappear. So Rick Flag Sr. interrogates Peacemaker one-on-one, where he beats the holy hell out of him. Like, damn, some of those beating movements were pretty top-notch. And they look like they hurt, too. So he just kept on beating the shit out of him until they had to stop. So Leota and Adrian, they leave the cabin, and they leave eagerly to go pick up Peacemaker, and that gave, what the hell is his name again? Red something? Michael Rooker's character. I see No Shame in Feeding has been subscribed for 22 months. Currently on a 3-month streak. Oh yeah, they also revealed that Sasha, she's part cyborg. Some sort of like plane accident where her body was absolutely mutilated, so then they saved her life. And may I say, they did a fair job fixing her up. Looking mighty fine with those upgrades. So, yeah, Red Saint Wild is the character's name. So we see Red literally trying to kill Eagly. He spikes a dead rat by injecting the rat with some sort of like poison. But Eagly just narrowly escapes death because Eagly had the dead rat in his mouth, but then Leota and Adrian, they leave. So Eagly puts down the dead rat for a moment. When Eagly turns around, there's a fox with it. You can tell it's a CGI fox. Pretty good, all things considered, the way it looks. Eagly chases the fox, but then the fox swallows the rat whole and then dies on the spot. So what Red Saint Wild does is he opens a briefcase. Not exactly a briefcase. He opens a case and pulls out this comically large gun. This, like, musket, which is enormously big. Like, it is supersized. It's humongous. This gun is extra large. He pulls out this comically large gun trying to shoot Eagly. And trying to hunt Eagly, I should say. Obviously, he's trying to shoot the damn bird. So, yeah. Leota and Adrian go and pick up Chris. On the way back, they talk. And, well, Chris doesn't seem like he's in the best place, you know? He realizes that there's a better world out there. This world he currently lives in sucks. He's made up his mind, especially now he heard Amelia's answer. And, well, Adrian tries to lighten the mood by being like, you guys want to quiz me on some manta ray facts? And that's the post-credit scene, too. It's just listing out manta ray facts, and then Leota and Chris being annoyed at him. So they drop him off at the cabin, where he asks to be alone. He calls to Eagly, but Eagly doesn't reply, doesn't come back. And that's because, deep in the woods, Red Saint Wild aims his humongous gun up and shoots the eagle out of the sky. It has you thinking, oh no, Chris is already in such a bad place right now. Is he about to come back to his eagle dead? His pet eagle dead? Because it really seemed like it too. There was a dead eagle on the floor. Red went to pick up the bird by the legs. But then he gets tackled on the back of his head by Eagly. And then a swarm of eagles surround him. So I guess Eagly just communicated to another eagle to be a sacrifice, I guess. Unless that eagle was part of the pact and was just there at the wrong place, wrong time. So then, Red sees Eagly with legitimately the alpha eagle, the prime eagle symbol that he saw, that he had a vision of. So I guess he wasn't blabbering. Eagly really is the prime eagle. And then Red gets surrounded by eagles. He gets mauled, pecked at, basically killed. Once again, I can't help but notice every Michael Rooker character dies. Is it just me? Every single character Michael Rooker plays dies. You have characters like Merle, Yondu, Savant, whatever the character was, whatever his name was in Creature Commandos that he voiced. And now we have Red St. Wild. Every single Michael Rooker character always dies. Can the actor ever play a character that catches a break and has a happy ending? I mean, it's implied he's dead. Because when Eagly shows back up, he has a finger. He just has a severed finger, which reminded me of when Baby Groot brought back a severed human toe to Yondu and Rocket, which was also directed by James Gunn. So we didn't see the death happen on screen. We didn't see the kill happen. So he could be alive, but for now I'm going to assume he did. So back over at Argus, we see that it was all strategized. Rick Flag Sr. did not beat the shit out of Chris out of pure rage, blind rage, getting ready to kill him. It may seem like that at first, but no, it was strategic. He knew that in doing so, his friends would, figure out a way for Chris to escape. And thus lead them right to where the dimensional doorway is. And he also knew that he would be so beaten up, so distraught, he would not notice Judo Master is following them. And he was right, because Judo Master followed them straight to the cabin. And also, Rick Flag Sr., it seems like he hooked up with Sasha. Not gonna lie. Pretty big W there. You gotta respect the hustle from Rick Flag Sr. First it was Princess Alana, now it's Sasha Bordeaux. It's like, goddamn. This Dilfy piece of shit really do get the ladies. So yeah. Chris is now at the cabin, and he pulls out a sheet of paper and starts writing a memoir, a final message to his friends. Is it just me who didn't know John Cena was left-handed? When I saw him write, I'm just like, Peacemaker's left-handed? Huh. You know, I have a friend who's left-handed. He said it was always a pain writing on, say, a whiteboard, because you have to hover your hand over it. Otherwise, your hand, as you write, will just erase what you're writing. Ah, to be left-handed. Oh yeah, also, Rick Flag Sr. said that he did mention that he cannot have another dimensional rift incident happen like in Metropolis. So more references to the Superman movie. Very nice. At least they're tying it together. Alright, so he opens the portal. Anyways, so he uses that gizmo, thanks for the band, by the way. He opens a portal. No, wait, he uses the gizmo as the portal door opened. He walks through. There's a big light show that happened. Judo Master saw all of it. Judo Master tried to call Flurry to tell him, but then Flurry called him a nickname, and that pissed him off, wasting a bunch of time. So Judo Master actually slipstreamed behind the door, the portal, before it closed. He also wrote a message for Argus on the same pieces of paper. So Peacemaker and Eagly went through the portal. So did Judo Master, and then the little gizmo closed the portal door behind them. So he can't get back. Peacemaker cannot get back to his universe now, unless someone uses that device to go and get him. But he cannot return himself now. So, Leota and Adrian realize too late. They got a text from Peacemaker, but then they realize something's wrong, so they hurry up and make a U-turn. They U-turn and head back, but the time they make it back, it's too late. Chris is already gone. They see a note on the table, and they recognize Cheeto prints. So they know Judo Master is here because of those Cheeto dust-caked fingers left some fingerprints on the paper. So they pick up the device, and then a piece of paper slips out. So our friends gather, and they read the note out loud. It's pretty much Peacemaker saying, "I'm sorry, but this world isn't for me anymore. I'm gonna go be happy in the other world, and I'm gonna tell the other Amelia Harcourt, yes. Don't be sad for me. Be happy that I'm happy." Something like that. And then he also put in the letter, you can also turn in the quantum opening device to Argus to get yourselves all promotions. But they don't want to. They're not going to. Instead, they're going to use that device to open a portal and go and get Chris back. We also see during this that Peacemaker is now pretty happy in his new life. His brother Keith is questioning, hey, what's with the bird? Oh, it's an eagle rescue. Name's Eagly. He's gonna be my sidekick now. Alright, suit up. Hurry up. There's a kaiju attacking a city. And then we see on the news report, the top trio, I think that's what they're called. The top trio saves the day by taking down the kaiju. And if you really paid attention, that's the same kaiju design as in the Superman movie. It's the exact same kaiju design. I guess this world doesn't have a Superman to stop the kaijus. But that news report was inside of Argus. So Amelia, looking over a desk, she sees Chris walk in, covered in blood and guts. And then they smile, they run towards each other, and the camera cuts. The scene cuts to black just before their lips lock in place. But then the episode ends with, it's actually, it's kind of emotional. Yes, everyone is sad that Chris is gone, but especially Adrian. Adrian actually cries his eyes out, genuinely. We know how unstable Adrian is, how attached he is to his best friend Peacemaker, and for him to be gone, yeah, that does destroy him. I know the season's not over yet, but I gotta admit, a little bit disappointing with how some characters have been set to the background this season so far. We haven't really seen too much of Vigilante. We haven't even seen White Dragon suit up once yet. We saw him fly in this episode, but that's it. And do I need to mention they completely abandoned the storyline of Chris hallucinating his father? Did I miss anything? You know, I'm talking with someone online about the Snyderverse potentially coming back. And in his mind, he told me this. He said, I still consider both Snyderverse and DCU canon, just on different Earths. And so I replied, if that's the case, then we have 3 different Earths. We have the theatrical DCEU, we have Zack Snyder's trilogy, and now we have James Gunn's DCU. Isn't this just a wonderful mess? One continuity split off into 3 separate branches. We have the original DCEU consisting of Justice League and all the woke shit that they tried to shove into it. So it consists of, all the DCEU. It consists of, after Justice League, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker. So that DCEU was a jumbled mess, obviously. And then we still have the Zack Snyder trilogy. So the original Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. And now we have James Gunn's DCU, which just could not hard disconnect from the previous continuity. Because now we have Peacemaker Season 2 referencing not only Superman and Creature Commandos, but also DCEU stuff. Referencing the Suicide Squad, referencing the first Suicide Squad. What an absolute mess. Anyways, unless I'm forgetting something, there you go, Peacemaker. The season's okay so far. Like I said, it's not capturing the same magic that the first season had. First season was something spectacular. It was something special. Season 2 so far is... maybe because you know that it's disconnected now. Like Season 1 legitimately is disconnected from Season 2. It's kind of like... I don't know. It feels a little messy. But whatever. I think we got 3 more episodes to go. Any Chainsaw Man predictions? Well, based on everything I've been sending you, this particular character, her arc, something about her arc in the story, and then the ending, and then a lot of booms happening, I can only imagine. I think you know what my predictions are. This Giratina really isn't being shiny. I want to hear it from you. So, short and simple, my prediction is, by the end of the movie, character dies from boom. Pretty much. I see. I see. I mean, the fact that I saw this didn't help either. Forgive me if I pronounce her name wrong. I even sent this to you. The Chainsaw Man Reese arc, out of context spoilers, and it was just the SpongeBob episode where they thought he ate that bomb pie. It's just like, how do we tell him? We don't tell him. And then it's just like, kaboom, everything. So when will you find out? How much stuff do I have to get through before I watch the movie? Oh, I thought there were 2 seasons. No. It says right here on the Google AI. You gotta love this stuff, I tell you. There is 1 season of Chainsaw Man that has released, which aired in fall 2022. Shit! 3 years has passed already? Well, shit, I've been saying I will start this for 3 years now. Oops. Doesn't time fly? Playing very dangerous games Googling that. Instead of a 2nd season, a movie titled Chainsaw Man, and is sometimes considered the next installment of the story. News on an official season 2 is still pending, but legal documents suggest it has been greenlit? You gotta love the AI summary at the front of Google nowadays, right? Anyway, so there's 1 season of Chainsaw Man for me to get through before I bask in the glory that is whatever happens in this movie. So, tell you what, like I said earlier, like I've been alluding to earlier, once I finish Peacemaker and Gen V, because those seasons are done, I just need to finish watching them, I won't have anything else to talk about. That's a huge lie. I have so many things to watch. Because Welcome to Derry, I gotta wait weekly for the episodes. And Has Been Hotel, well, talk about one thing. I'll be done in like 10 minutes. So, tell you what, why don't I check it out once I'm done, Peacemaker and Gen V. If you watch it fast enough, you can go watch it in theaters. Yeah, you know damn well that's not gonna happen. Because I still got episodes of Peacemaker and Gen V to get through, and then I got 12 episodes of Chainsaw Man. You know very well that's not gonna happen. And besides, I could save some money by waiting for it to come out online and watch it at home. Only the big movies I go to see in the theaters. Or just movies that my friends want to go watch. Remember, I wanted to go watch Superman in theaters, but my cousin wanted to watch Fantastic Four instead. Anyways, all this talk, speaking of Gen V, let's talk about that. So this episode, I do not appreciate the way it started. I do not appreciate the way it opened. Opened with penises and feces. Like, what the hell, man? So this episode opens up with Cypher. Wait, no. It opens up with a flashback to 1 month earlier, where Cypher is cleaning up after his father, taking care of his father. That is a very grim reminder of what I will have to do someday. I'm not looking forward to it, but I know I'm going to have to someday. Where he prepares applesauce to feed his father. He takes his father out of that cryo chamber, strips him naked. I do not appreciate seeing a very burnt, crusty penis. You know, changes his adult diaper. We even see him put on gloves, get the wet wipes and wipe. I'm not looking forward to having to do that with my elderly father one day, but I know I'll have to. I don't want to, but I need to. So yeah, just taking care of his father. And then, as he is bathing his father, we get a surprise guest appearance from Sister Sage. I knew she was going to show up at some point because she was in the trailer for the season. But, you know, I didn't expect her in this episode. And then we also get the bombshell reveal that she is now the new CEO of Vought. How did that happen? Sage did mention that Ashley is not in the condition to do so anymore. Wonder what happened to Ashley, Last we saw, she injected herself with Compound V. I don't know if I mentioned this yet. I'm really hoping Ashley gets hair powers, and I don't mean like the way Bushmaster had, or has. Only controlling pubic hair. Since Ashley is bald, I hope Compound V made her grow her hair back and even gave her control over her hair, Medusa style. Maybe not the Medusa with the snakes, but more like the Marvel Medusa. You know what? I hope that's the case with Ashley. I hope Ashley gets hair powers. That'd be cool to see. So, Cypher and Sage, they get their freaky on, and I'm just thinking, like, right in front of your father? Come on, man, right in front of your father who is naked in the bathtub. He has no choice but to just sit there and watch, hearing everything, watching everything. All in all, this was actually a pretty good episode. I was invested. So we cut back to present day, the aftermath of the cage fight between Marie and Jordan. Jordan reveals how violated she felt, because Cypher was inside of Jordan's mind. Like a puppet with no strings, a meat puppet with no strings. Jordan was able to feel everything, see and hear everything, but was not in control. She even was able to feel Marie's powers on her. She was afraid that Marie was going to destroy her. But she had no control. She couldn't say anything, couldn't plead for her life, nothing. If Jordan got torn apart, blown up like a water balloon, nothing could have been done. Well, Cypher comes in and offers his, kind of just his demands. He wants Marie to continue training, but Marie obviously just doesn't want to anymore. And then Cypher is just like, oh, if you don't, then you can follow your friend all the way back to Elmira. Who? Kate. You know, for that little stunt trying to expose me, you're human, you know. Someone had to be punished, so Kate got sent to Elmira. So Kate now gets to experience firsthand how brutal Elmira is. I don't think I need to mention how she was treated when she first got there, needing to strip everything. I don't think I need to discuss that part. We also see Sam go back to his home, where his parents are. I didn't mention that in the last episode, because I didn't think anything would come of it. When Sam and Jordan were smoking up a doobie, watching some kids shows, you know, Vought 7. Wait. No, Vought Kids instead of 4Kids in real life. He mentioned he misses home but can't go back because his mom is scared. I didn't think anything would come from that. So this episode, he actually does go back home, where he gets met by his parents. Anyways, you know what? I'll just go through Sam's story first, since it's relatively short. So, Sam back home, the tension is high. But we do find out later exactly the damage that has been done to this family. Oh yeah, Sam also had a Queen Maeve doll that became an experiment for him when he got older. Warning his dad not to touch it. His dad was also like, did you ever get to meet Queen Maeve? No, she was already dead by then. So the people in universe still believe Maeve is dead, but we know she's not. Anyway, so after asking his dad to measure him against the wall, he sees his mom calling someone. So Sam gets all defensive, all angry, thinking she was talking to Vought. His dad comes up from behind him, trying to calm him down, but then he just, like, punches him so hard, he flies back, almost... I almost thought he was gonna kill him. Like, it was gonna be that kind of accident. But no, it's implied that he's alive and doing fine. So, Sam and his mom are outside on a swing set, talking. Oh, wait, no, before that. So, Sam reveals that... Sam reveals that he's hurt by his parents because they shot him up with Compound V and then sent him away. He was sent not only to Sage Grove, but then he also ended up in the woods. He's also upset that they never tried to reach out and see him. But his parents reveal that they thought he was dead. They were told by Vought he was dead. And then they heard news about Luke. So they just never thought to contact them because they thought he was dead. But when they found out that Sam was alive when he was on the news, you know, one of the Guardians of Godolkin, they did try to reach out. But then Vought denied it. Vought said that he doesn't want to see them. So Vought has been the roadblock in this entire family, the wedge in this family the whole time. Fucking Vought. Is there anything good Vought can do? Anything at all? So there is a pretty big divide in this family. Money? That's all Vought can do, money. You know what I actually think? A little side topic. You know what I actually wonder about big companies? Big companies like, I don't know, Apple, Walmart, Costco, big companies. They make all this money, but then part of me wonders, for what? What's the point? Obviously, more money is better, but then it's like, for what? You have billions of dollars worth, but you're still only paying all the workers a set amount. So the companies are filthy rich, they have so much money, but they're not really using it, you know? Sure, you can say that they're expanding the business, making more locations, bringing in more items to sell, but the point is, the goal is more money. They have more money, and they use it to make even more money. And a part of me wonders, what's the point? Yeah, they restock. My point is, everything leads back to more money. Making more money, more money, more money. But it's like, well, what's all that money doing anyways? You know, nobody's using it. The CEO isn't exactly tapping into it for expenses on his own terms or whatever. It's just more so, I feel like the company's net worth, how much the company is worth. But then it's like, well, what then? You know, no person, no corporation's ever going to buy it out and claim that money for themselves. So Costco, Walmart, Apple, they're just going to make more and more and more and more and more money. But then it's like, well, what's the end game besides just make more money? What's the money going to do? Right? We simpleton civilian plebes, we make money to stay alive, for rent, for food. But big companies, it's like, well, what are they doing with all that money? It's just how much the company's worth, but they're not really doing anything with it. Besides, like I said, more locations, more products, more money to make. For them, it's just a score, a number. Yeah, but they're not really doing anything with the number. It's just more and more and more. The bigger the number, cool, sure, but it's like you're not doing anything with that. Anyways, back to the show. Sam's mom reveals that Compound V didn't break Sam's mind like he thought. Instead, their family just suffers from delusions, from hallucinations. Because Sam's uncle, he went into a convenience store with a gun. Thankfully, he was stopped before anything happened. So Sam, his mind is broken not because of the V, it's because of genetics. So Sam makes up with his parents. He even tells his mom at night out in the park on a swing set. What did he say? He said something like, I saw my first vagina here. It's like, thanks for that, son. Wow. Imagine hearing that from your kid. Just the two of you having a moment, reconnecting after years of lost time, and then your son randomly just says, I saw my first vagina here. Even worse, imagine if a daughter said the opposite. You're swinging with your daughter, I saw my first penis here. It's like, it's not, if anything, that's worse. Anyway, so that's it for Sam's story, except for one particular thing, which I'll get to. So our characters are actually thinking they gotta go and rescue Kate from Elmira. Some of them are just like, why would we want to rescue that bitch? She caused us to be there in the first place. Now she knows exactly what it's like. It's karma. Marie's just like, yeah, but we know exactly how bad it is. So we know that we don't want anyone else to go through that, even if they are backstabbing friends who may or may not deserve it. So they decide on a plan. They're going to go and free Kate. They even have this like whole mapped out plan too of what to do, what entrance to break into. So they leave campus, and their car that they're about to get into is just in the middle, literally the middle of the campus. Like the campus courtyard, not even in a parking lot. Literally just in the middle of the campus yard. So they're getting ready to go, and then, what's his name? Allie's brother shows up, and it seems like there is a romance between the two. Between him and Emma. Good for her. Oh yeah, Emma did also call Sam for help, because there's a big metal door that they can't get past. But Sam refuses. Because even he says, I kind of don't care about Kate anymore. You're right, she sucks. She's bad. I don't want to help her. So they drive off to Elmira. And wow, all the good that planning did, because they got caught immediately. Immediately! immediately. So they are now caught and put back into Elmira. I am skipping through so many storylines. We also see Polarity having lunch with Cypher. Cypher orders his, like, brown smoothie drink again. And Polarity orders what? Wagyu beef? You know what I love about Cypher? Would you believe I actually really like this character? Have you guys seen that video of why the DCU Lex Luthor, Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor works, but Jesse Eisenberg's Lex did not? It's because Lex actually showed his intelligence. So, I like Cypher because he actually shows his intelligence. He every single time our characters feel like they have something over him, he's always like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. He knows about it, and he always has a counter. I really like that about Cypher. Not only is he always a dozen steps ahead, he's also super calm, super chill. Like this scene, where he knows that Polarity wants to ask the big question. So he's just like, go ahead and ask. Just ask it. What really happened to my son? What happened to Andre? So he just straight up says, your son died through an experiment. So that would naturally piss him off a lot. So Polarity uses his powers to put the knife right to his neck. And he's just like, do it. Go ahead. And then he grabs the knife out of the air and just stabs his own hand with it for some reason. It's just like, you have no idea what you're dealing with. Ooh, I love this guy. And also, Polarity did ask, like, you know, about Odessa and Marie, but then, god damn it, Cypher just said, I guess we'll have to find out next week. Now, won't we? Fucking hell, man. So, our characters are now back, stuck in Elmira. But they have these, like, metahuman dampening collars on them, so they can't use their powers. Kate is able to makeshift the staples from her head, like the stitches on her head, and use it to kind of tamper with her collar. Before that, though, Cypher shows up, talks to Marie. Oh yeah, they also injected Marie with a blood anticoagulant, which is pretty bad news, because even the smallest cut, the smallest bleed, can drain you and kill you. Unless she gets her powers back. So Cypher tells Marie to follow. Marie follows him, and it's revealed that Annabeth is here. Cypher has Marie's sister. So using that as blackmail, like, you will do what I'm told, or your sister gets it. Cool? Great. We have a deal. Perfect. Wait, we also see that Sage showed up? Sage showed up, and this is all Cypher's plan. Nothing brings out Soup's full potentials like a facility like this. Heavily guarded, super high pressure. This is where they will truly unlock their potential. So Sage and Cypher are planning something. Remember what I said about that Lex thing just now? This is why I like Cypher so much, and Sage is just eh. Season 4 of The Boys, we saw Sage flex her intelligence, but like, did we really? To what degree? We saw Sage pull the strings on everything, so the ending with President-elect, what was his name again? Singer, was it? Something like that. She planned everything to work in Homelander's favor, but like, we didn't really see any of that planning. We saw some, but then she knew that Homelander would mess it all up, so she left some things to herself. It's like, we didn't really see her intelligence play out completely. Cypher, however, we see all of it. All of it, and that's what I like. Sure, the man has his secrets, but still, we get to see the man be 1, 2, 3, a dozen steps ahead. And with that chill demeanor of his. Anyway, so yeah, Sage and Cypher are planning something. Well, Kate escapes, frees Emma as well. It's funny. The guard seeing Kate lying dormant on the floor with blood there, he's just like, what happened? The dumbass actually opened the locks and went in. Dumbass, haven't you seen any movies ever? That's always a trap. Dumbass. And because of that, you lost an eye. Kate used her powers to try to tell him to give me your keys and fuck off. But then he just takes his keys and stabs himself in the eye. I wonder, if her powers don't work like that anymore, what happens if Kate just mutters some jargon? If she actually says that crazy stuff like, take the keys and stab yourself in the eye, will then he act normal and just hand the keys over peacefully? Oh yeah, speaking of the gnome that she made the guy fuck in the last episode, yeah, that was a gift from Sage. Sage is the one who gave that gnome to Cypher. Neat detail. So yeah, Emma frees them all. Wait, Kate frees them all after Emma, whatever. But then, Jordan notices this is pretty strange. There's no security, no alarms, no resistance. They want us to escape. This is a test. Test or not, they need to escape. They need to get out of there. But they also need to get Annabeth. But instead of splitting up, which, good, don't split up, you idiots. They go and see Annabeth dead on the floor. I'm just like, oh shit. That is... what can I even say to that? So then Marie, she kind of gives everyone an aneurysm. Makes everyone's nose bleed, gives them all a concussion, whatever. She's able to close the neck wound on Annabeth. And then, not only that, she's able to bring her back to life. So, Marie is more powerful than any of us thought. Here I was thinking, Marie, the peak of Marie's powers would just be like, control people's movements. Because she should be able to technically do that. Aside from just making, making blood bags, alive or not, float, she should be able to control the blood inside the body, make like someone wave their arms, walk forward. Not be able to control their minds, but should be able to control their body movements because of the blood inside. But the ability to bring someone back to life from a wound? That is pretty huge. Now, here's the question though. Does it have to be blood related? That might be a stupid question, but hear me out. Annabeth died from literal, body damage, cut to the neck. What if someone is poisoned? Could Marie bring that person back to life? We did see Marie heal the wound. So if someone is split in half, can she make the body reattach? She was able to blow up Kate's arm, but is she able to make all the pieces come back and form her arm again? Obviously, it's too late now, but if she knew how to do that, if she is able to heal, could she have done that in the moment? So I probably missed a ton of details from this episode, but for the most part, there you go, that's it. I think there's 3 episodes left of Gen V. So let's see. I've been seeing a lot of thumbnails online saying Gen V Season 2 is disappointing, underwhelming, trash. I don't know. I'll have to see. I got 3 episodes left. Let's see if the payoff is worth it. I don't even know what the season is building towards, actually. I will say that, though, there's no clear direction of where the story's going, besides the whole Odessa thing. Anything else to talk about? If not, we'll jump into the next show. You know, I still haven't really seen anything from Dispatch yet. I'm still debating, do I play the game myself, or do I just watch footage? But like, man, if I play the game myself, I'm never gonna find time to do that. I don't really think there's anything else to talk about. You know, we did see, or not see, we did get a mid-season trailer for Welcome to Derry. And, well, the mid-season trailer shows a lot of Pennywise footage. It also spoiled for me what happens to Marge in this episode, or something that happens to her. Since I saw the trailer, the mid-season trailer, before I watched the episode. But, yeah, whatever. You know, HBO Max really isn't on top of their game when it comes to putting out trailers, because that was even the thing for the Penguin too. Every Penguin episode, they would put out a trailer for the next episode, and even an episode insider. And they're doing the same thing for Welcome to Derry. Man, I just want to fucking see Pennywise. That's all I want to see in the show. I want to see Pennywise in the flesh show up. And that's why I thought this episode was a little bit disappointing. Because episode 3's ending, they set up Pennywise to show up. But he was once again absent from this episode. Like, I'm sorry, in a way, I don't care about the kids. I want to see Pennywise. think it's a bold prediction to say all the kids are probably going to die by the end of this season, because we don't hear or see from them, from the movies. Alright. Welcome to Dairy episode 4. We start with our kids going to the police station and trying to show the evidence that was the pictures taken. But when they do show the evidence, all of it is not what they took. It was not the ghosts of the kids. And I was kind of thinking that too. I'm thinking, like, can't Pennywise just do that? Couldn't Pennywise just change what the pictures are? However, Pennywise did leave one of the pictures intact, and that was the picture of himself. The very blurry, distorted, barely even visible picture of himself. Well, the cops don't believe it's a clown. The cops just think it's a statue. And they threaten the kids by saying, like, stay out of police business. Don't do this again. So, where do I even start? There's so many storylines. Charlotte finds Will's pictures. You know, the pictures that they tried to show the police. His mother finds the pictures in a discreet envelope in the back of a drawer while she was cleaning. So she makes her son tell the truth. So he says that she's a friend of mine, and she claims her father is innocent, so I believe her. I want to believe her. And we tried our best to get evidence to prove. But then they were followed. They were attacked. It was so scary. So she tries to go to the police station to claim, like, hey, there's someone out there in town. A dangerous person. Could you perhaps have an innocent man locked up? Talking about... excuse me. Talking about Hank. His name was Hank, right? So, she decides that she's going to try to help him out. Because she used to do that back where she used to live, with her family. She's not a lawyer per se, but she is able to help people who are wrongfully accused. So, after visiting his mother and getting permission to see him despite not being family, they talk. She's able to help him, but his mother reveals that he was not at home. He was out. And that could be the key evidence to prove that he was not at the theater and he is not responsible for the deaths of the kids. But what he reveals is he was with a woman. Not just a married woman. A white woman. Now, in present day, that may not be such a big deal. Not really that big a deal at all. However, back in the 60s, I'm not too sure what problems that could bring up. I guess maybe in the past. To protect herself, she may not tell the truth. I don't know. So, Hanlon talks to his wife and is asking, what are you doing? Please, I can't have you get arrested again. Please, just keep your head down and mind your own business. But she ain't gonna listen. So, continuing with the Hanlon family, So Charlotte decided to keep this whole story about, some dangerous person following them to themselves. During dinner, Leroy asks his son how his first week of school went, and he doesn't know what to answer. So his mother's just like, okay, there's a girl. Pretty funny, too, because Hanlon is just like, so is the girl pointing at himself, pointing at her? Basically asking, is the girl black? So Charlotte suggests that Hanlon takes his son out to get out there for a while. Do something together. So the two of them, they go fishing. Me personally, I'm okay with fishing. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But if I were to do it, it would just be to make my dad happy because he likes fishing. So, honestly, I would rather not do it, but just to make my dad happy, I'll go do it with him. So, during fishing, Hanlon goes back to his car to grab some bait, leaving his son alone in the river, and that he actually gets pulled down by his father, or what looked like his father, burned, dragging him down. Hanlon rushes over to save his son, and there's proof that it's not just in his head, that his son's not crazy, because he actually has wound marks on his arms. So something did grab him, something did attack him, and then they turn around and see the red balloon floating by. Ooh, Pennywise is coming. I'm just gonna flat out say it, the black men in the military, they have their place to hang out now. Francis Shaw. General Shaw found them a place where they can hang out in peace. That is an old, unused, military little, shed. So they clean it up to be their personal little hangout. And when they were cleaning it up, setting everything, like the fridge with beer, the piano, I'm just like, am I watching Sinners? Them cleaning up the barn for it to be a nightclub? So, Hanlon came over to talk to Halloran. How similar can their last names be? Hanlon, Halloran? Come on now. Hanlon comes over to talk to Halloran, telling him that his son got attacked. Like, what exactly are we chasing here? He says there's something bad here in Derry. What exactly does the general have us chasing? So, he doesn't think much of it just yet after Halloran doesn't answer. So, at night, when Will couldn't sleep, he looks out the telescope and then he sees Pennywise's silhouette out there. Pennywise was there. But we didn't see him in full glory yet. We just saw his outline. So after he screamed in horror, his father came in and then he went out into the yard like, who's there? Show yourself. He walks back into the house, but he sees a red balloon in the tree. He goes and asks General Shaw, what exactly are they looking for? So Shaw brings him over to an interrogation room where Halloran is going to interrogate one of the Indians. Because earlier in the episode, General Shaw is just like, how long have the Indian kids been watching? Well, they know to stay away. Let's bring them in. Let's let them help. Now, I kind of question this. This always makes me question whenever I see this now. Given how many Indians I see up in Canada these days, are these people Native American or are they Indian? Because a lot of people just flip-flop, swap between the two. It's like, is that the same thing? I don't think so, right? I don't think Native Americans are the same as Indians. I just looked it up. Yes, in contemporary conversation, Native American and Indian are often used interchangeably to refer to the indigenous people of the Americas. I tell you, when I think of Native American, I don't picture an Indian. They look very different. They look very different. They behave very different. Why is there a picture of Jason Momoa here? Whatever. So they interrogate the Indian kid, Daniel, and Halloran has to use his psychic powers to get into his mind. And inside his mind, we see Aunt Rose ask young Daniel to tell the entire story that was passed down from his people, just to make sure that he knows. And like, goddamn, he memorized every single word of the story to a T. Basically, the story goes, millions of years ago, an evil spirit was brought to our planet via a meteorite. And when it crashed, it created this, like, crystal, place. And the monster stayed in that deep part of the woods. We don't disturb it. It doesn't disturb us. We stay away from its hunting ground. However, they get attacked, people die, so they have to do, not exactly the ritual of Chud, but they, settlers came in, they were warned not to go into the deep woods, but they do, and they get mauled, they get destroyed, they get eaten by Pennywise. Well, it's not Pennywise just yet. It takes the forms of monsters and the deepest fears of what people have. So the crystals, the shards from Pennywise's crash site, can wound the monster, but it's not good enough anymore. So the tribe, they decide to leave for their own safety, but some of the kids refuse, so they take the shard to go into the deep forest to try to kill the thing itself, or get more of the shards. More of the tribe go in, they get killed one by one. But they do eventually find the place where all of the rocks are at, the crystals, the shards. So what they do is they bury 12 of them, and then they set fires on top of where they buried it as a perimeter to where this monster cannot leave. And then we already know that perimeter eventually became the town of Derry. What a very unfortunate place to build a town. Out of everywhere you could have built a town on the entire planet, they chose this one spot. Even more unlucky for the people who move here, who live here. So that's pretty much as clear as day, the Pennywise backstory we're going to get. However, that's not it for the episode, because we also have the storylines with Lily and the other kids. So, they're back at school trying to lay low. They actually have like a group meeting, and they discuss how... So Will has a theory because he's super smart. They're trying to think, why doesn't this thing just kill us? Why does it only cause weird things? Will has a theory. What if it doesn't want to kill us? At least not yet. What if it's just trying to scare us? Why would it do that? Well, fear. It releases dopamine, I think. It releases other hormones. When you're afraid, it releases certain things into your bloodstream that certain predators like the taste of. So predators will scare fear into their prey before devouring. So they kind of hit the theory right on the target there. Why doesn't this thing kill them yet? Well, it's seasoning them up with fear. So what Lily offers is she took pills from her mother. She said her mother claims that whenever she's nervous, anxious, or whatever, she takes one of these. So she swiped them, one pill for everyone. Whenever it happens again, you just take one so you can't feel fear. Wow, that's smart. Well, let's hope the kids don't get addicted to it. So, inside of class, during school, they learn about stuff from the projector. They learned about how a parasite infects snails. It goes up into their eyes, enlarges them, causes a couple of like colorful signals that signal birds. Birds and other predators come eat up the snail, infest it with a parasite. There's also a lot of turtle references in this episode again. Every single episode has had things calling back to turtles. Every episode. Not only did they learn about the snail parasite, they also learned stuff like nuclear fallout, what to do, how to protect yourself, because this is still like the Cold War times, if I'm not mistaken. And then, there was the visual of a turtle retreating back into its shell. So, Marge wants to reconnect with her best friend from the first grade, Lily. Even though we can already tell it's a trap. So, they want to eat together during lunch. And, well, one of the frat boys walk up and show interest in Lily. The very handsome, muscular high school frat boy is showing interest in you. It's like, oh my god, he likes me. So Marge is just like, you should go talk to him. Lily's just like, sure, I'll go freshen up in the bathroom first. But to no one's surprise, it's all a ploy, because the popular bitches, this is a prank. They're going to embarrass her in front of the whole school. When she approaches that boy, he's going to embarrass her in front of the whole school. But Marge, at least she has a conscience, because she just can't sell her best friend out like that. She goes to the bathroom, tries to warn her, but then her eyes start feeling pain. And then her eyes start sticking out like the snail infested with the parasite. And oh my god, the details. The graphic details. So Marge is in excruciating pain because both of her eyes are sticking out of her head. And if it's the same as the snail, has parasites in them. Pennywise make-believe parasites, but still. And she tries to make the pain go away. So she goes to the school woodshop class. And then she uses the bandsaw to cut her eyes off. She also tries to grab this wedge to try to gouge her eyes out. But then Lily is trying to stop her. To the point it looks like Lily is the one doing the damage to her. Lily is on top of her, hands covered in blood with a weapon in her hand. Now that everything is back to normal and all the kids ran in to take a look at what all the screaming is about, they see Lily on top of Marge, bloody hands, blood everywhere, and Marge is now missing an eye. Oh my god, the bandsaw, I tell ya. But didn't she cut both eyes? But now Marge is just missing one eye. She's missing her right eye. I just want to fucking see Pennywise, man. Just show me the goddamn clown. Man, that's sort of a weak point from the show. Now, I get it. It's a TV show, so there's more spacing, more padding. You need time to introduce the new characters. With the movies, sure, you had a much more compact plot, introducing the characters rapid pace. Not really a whole lot of time to see everything really play out. But in the show formula, it's like, you know what we want to see. We want to see Pennywise. And yet, for 4 episodes, we have not seen him yet in all of his glory. Just show me the goddamn clown. That's all I want to see. I just want to see Pennywise. Oh, right. Anyway, so after the whole Indian story, Halloran then asks, great, now where can we find the chamber, you know? The creature's chamber. So then he points towards the house. The haunted, broken down, decrepit house inside of Derry. And yeah, we did learn in the movies that that is where it is. Deep, deep under the house. I can't wait to see everyone's reaction to Pennywise, like even the adults. It's going to be so fascinating seeing the adults realize exactly what they're hunting down. A monster killer clown. A supernatural monster killer clown. As if they could weaponize it. As if they can control it. Anyways, let's go over Hazbin Hotel real quick, because I'm tired of talking. This episode, episode 4 of season 2, actually has a contradiction in it. So we open up with Charlie, furious that the V's have spun her message into something pretty bad. So she plans to go to V Tower, get interviewed by Katie Killjoy live on television, so what she says cannot be twisted, edited, and doctored. So Charlie goes to V Tower and brings Nifty along for some reason. Charlie gets interviewed by Katie Killjoy again. However, Katie Killjoy is like, Princess, it's nice to finally meet you. But they've met before. They met in the pilot. So it seems like they're retconning that. Charlie doesn't mention, but we've already met before. You interviewed me before. And there's nothing implying Katie Killjoy forgot who Charlie was, because if you interview the Princess of Hell, I don't think you're going to forget you met her anytime soon. So there's a bit of a contradiction there, a continuity error. They act like it's the first time Charlie met Katie Killjoy, but we know it's not. I know the pilot came out 6 years ago, but still. At this point, you're working with the continuity of, like, not even a dozen episodes. So, of course, during the interview, they still manage to twist everything Charlie says. Things aren't looking good for Charlie. In fact, her agreeing to do this live interview has only made things worse. So she tries to get Nifty to go in front of the camera and tell the world how great the Hazbin Hotel is, but Nifty, nice little callback, she kind of just freezes up in front of a camera. After she's convinced the camera is a giant roach, Nifty just sings a really fast-paced song about, well, honestly, not really painting a good light on the hotel. And then Nifty also sings Japanese, too. Like, the art style also changes to a very Japanese style. Well, that was unexpected, but it was a nice touch. So, poor Charlie, things are looking very bad for her right now. On the other side, though, we finally learn more about Alistair. Alistair actually plays a pretty big role in this episode. So we see Alistair in his forest-looking room. And we actually see what's underneath Alistair's clothes for the first time ever. Dude is actually packing underneath there. Same with Vought and Valentino when we see them without their clothes on. I can't believe I just said that. Actually, we did see Valentino without his robe on in the first episode. I just didn't notice. These guys are all buff as hell. Anyways. So we see Alistair, and he still has a giant gash on his chest from when Adam fought him. Alistair shows up. He gets mocked by Lucifer, so then Alistair is just like, I quit. So Alistair has quit the hotel, and he now goes to Rosie. He tells Rosie that he quit the hotel, and she's just like, what? No. You're not quitting the hotel. You will continue to do what I say. Because there's a plot twist I didn't imagine. It's actually Rosie who has control over Alistair. I would not have guessed that from watching them in Season 1. So we finally learn Alistair's backstory. We even see it fully animated too. I gotta say, it is so strange seeing animated, regular human beings on this show. We all see these like mystical creatures. So back in the 1930s, Alistair was a rising radio star. But he was also pretty unhinged, unstable. Alistair would kill very often too, with a smile. No remorse, no hint of anything, just a calm demeanor as he killed. So Alistair uses whatever rituals to summon any demons from the afterlife, from hell, and it's actually Rosie who answered. Oh yeah, in the flashback we also see Alistair knew Mimsy when they were both alive. That's neat. So Alistair made a deal with Rosie. Alistair knew that there is no... He knows where he's destined to go in the afterlife. But he doesn't want to be powerless down there. He wants to be a super powerful demon in the afterlife. So he made a deal with Rosie. He will be one of Hell's most powerful... No, he will be Hell's most powerful overlord. But he has to do stuff for Rosie until she says, like, your debt is paid. Until then, your soul is mine. And Alistair made the deal. But Alistair is just like, well, I'm not as strong as I used to be. In fact, my staff is broken, my powers aren't as strong anymore. Like, you promised me power. And Rosie's just like, you'll get it. Relax. Just not right now. Slowly. It also turns out, in Season 1, when we learned Alistair was gone for a while, that was because Rosie told him to. We don't know what he did, but that was because of Rosie. So they sing this musical where Rosie basically just reaffirmed to Alistair, you're mine, and there's nothing you can do about it, buddy. So then Alistair comes up with a plan, and I don't entirely understand his plan just yet. Alistair gets into a fight with the V's, all three of them. Nifty sees the report, the news report, and she rushes back to the hotel, grabs Husker to go fight with Alistair. So Alistair is fighting Vox. Nifty is stabbing Valentino. And Husker messed up Velvet's hair, so they're fighting. Before Valentino was about to shoot and kill Nifty, Alistair wants to talk. He has a proposition. He wants to make a deal with Vought. Vought? with Vox. Alistair will be Vox's prisoner in exchange for two little things. He will leave Charlie Morningstar alone, and Vox will get rid of his followers. And Vox agreed on the spot. I don't think he really thought that through. So Vox is celebrating that he won against Alistair to the point he has a freaking parade in the streets. He has Alistair all tied up too. We also see the flashback between Alistair and Vox. They had a past too. So, around 70 years ago... Oh yeah, we also learned how Alistair died. Pretty hilarious and underwhelming too. Literally the day after he made the deal with Rosie, he was mistaken for a deer in the woods and was shot and killed. Pretty underwhelming death, I'm not gonna lie. So we see a flashback 70 years ago where Vox had like a VCR TV for a head instead of the flat screen he has now. He admired Alistair. He wanted them to be partners to take over hell together. But Alistair laughed in his face and mocked him too. So that started their rivalry. You know, Alistair knows how big of an ego Vox has. So without his supporters, without his people, he kind of might be screwed. Now, it's kind of implied that during the deal, that also meant that Valentino and Velvet are also gone. Like, they can't be with Vox anymore, but they're still around. So, we'll have to see. But yeah, it's like... pretty big things happen. We learn Alistair's backstory. Alistair made a pretty, boneheaded deal with Vox. Then again, we have to see what Alistair's plan even is. And, hey, he quit the hotel. People don't really know Alistair actually quit the hotel yet. Angel Dust, Cherry Bomb, and Lucifer all heard him say it, but I don't think they took it seriously. Vaggie doesn't know, Charlie doesn't know. I'm really surprised to see that it was Rosie who has hold and control over Alistair. I would not have guessed that in Season 1. Well, a couple more minutes and then we'll call it for tonight. This Giratina really does not want to shine. I will continue to do this until I get it, and I'm not stopping. I'll do one last reset. Well, see you next time.